students, and welcome to the Electric Light Switch Module 2. Today is all about detox. That's right, we're going to talk about detoxing because that is a major part of what you want to get mentally prepared for as you are making the electric light switch. It is a form of detox. A lot of people say, oh, I'm thinking about going on a detox or doing a detox. And I think that fasting, detoxing, or detoxing intermittently, but fasting is wonderful. But it's really good to understand also that eating clean is a form of detoxing. Your body is actually cleansing. That's why I always say, don't forget the ABCs. Always be cleansing. You should always be cleansing. So everything that you're eating on the electric light switch is detoxifying and cleansing. But there are certain methods that I want you guys to be mindful of and helping to accelerate that cleanse if you need to. Also, things that are kind of do's and don'ts when it comes to detoxing as well, okay? So one of the first things I want to talk about is the scary P word, parasites. So oftentimes we hear all about these parasites that if you've been eating a sad diet for 15, 20, 30, 40, maybe even 50 years, that you are bound to have parasites. Well, I hate to tell you, it's true. Most of us have different types of parasites based on what we've eaten over the years. I'm sure you guys have seen all the Netflix movies and videos, and you know that there are parasites in lots of the food that we eat, mostly meat. Okay, this is really, really important to remember. So if you are just coming out of a meat diet, then detoxing is so important because you are going to be wanting to get rid of all of the excess parasites from eating meat. Also, there are sugar parasites, and you guys have all heard of candida, so you know that there are parasites that love sugar. All right, so it's really, really important. If you've got a crazy sweet tooth, then you may want to pay close attention here as we talk about detoxification. Now, one of the things that really inspired me to get heavy into detoxing was that I have a background in colon therapy. I was a colon therapist for many years before I started the electric kitchen program. But I saw so many people firsthand, people with six packs, nice body types, all kinds of things that would come to me for cleansing, and we would typically put about 20 to 25 gallons of purified water through a speculum into the rectum and run it through the lower intestine or the colon. So what I noticed is that once the water starts going into the colon and breaking up that impacted waste, it allows all of that waste sitting in that lower intestine to also break up and start coming on down. So the trick is to really moisten up the colon, because what happens is over time, especially when you eat denatured food or typical processed conventional foods, the food doesn't have a lot of fiber, and it also just doesn't have a lot of water in it. So it's really dry food, and your body works to dry the food out naturally in order to create that impacted waste and throw it out of the body. Well, when you're already eating a diet of denatured food, you've pretty much done the work yourself. So you've created a really impacted colon, and it starts to harden over time and hold on to the edge of your intestinal tract, which over time can really create havoc. And at that point you can have intoxication or auto-intoxication, where poisons from that impacted waste, it starts to really just ferment. It starts to break through or eat away at the mucosal lining of your intestinal tract and gets into your bloodstream. All right, so your body's natural movement or natural peristalsis is trying to dry and pull that waste down into the colon, but you need to put the moisture up into the colon in order to pull all that stuff out. Now, I know a lot of you are familiar with your grandma's enema bag. All right, everybody saw Granny have that red enema bag hanging up in her bathroom. Well, it was for a reason. Your grandma was really wise, and she understood that if ever she got sick or if ever she was feeling some indigestion or whatever was going on, more than likely she needed to clean her colon. So I know there are lots of people who say there's no need to put anything into the rectum. There's no need to put water up the rectum in order to cleanse the body. The body is meant to cleanse itself. Well, that's true when we are eating properly. But if you've been eating denatured foods, you may need a little bit of help. So as a part of your electric light switch, you want to understand what your body's going through. And I don't want you to freak out. All right. And I'll just kind of share a personal story. I had a retreater who was a part of the Chef Ahki detox retreat, and we were cleansing for 3 days together, fasting on herbs and cleansing. And maybe on the second evening, she wasn't feeling so well, and she was having a lot of cramping. Okay, and she was really feeling like she was ready to go home. And when I sat with her, I said, "Well, it's around 6 p.m. If you were at home right now, what would you be eating?" And she said, "Oh, maybe a Subway sandwich, followed with a bag of chips and some cookies, and maybe a soda." I said, "Okay, and how would you be feeling right now? Would you be in this pain?" She said, "No." I said, "Okay, so you're detoxing right now, and the pain that you're experiencing is a part of that detox. It'll get worse before it gets better." Okay, does that make sense? So what she was experiencing was not because she needed another Subway sandwich to make her feel better. That is not the solution, all right? The solution is cleansing. So as you're eating these detoxing foods, you may begin to have some detox symptoms, all right? And sometimes cramping can be a part of that detox system. Don't get freaked out. All that means is that your body is getting more water and more fiber than it ever has. And it is now breaking up that dried fecal matter that is in your intestinal tract, and it's starting to move some things around. Okay, you got to remember, you've got about 30 feet of intestinal tract in your body. It's about maybe roughly 12 times the length of your body. Okay, so it's very, very important to remember. So you've got a lot of space in there for waste to be in 98-degree weather, petrified, fermenting, and hardening for years. All right, if that doesn't sound gross, I don't know what else does. The point is, we're here to get rid of that excess waste matter, all right, and clean it up. So in module 2, we're talking about detoxing so that you can get mentally prepared for what you're about to experience, all right? With meat parasites, it's also important to remember, oftentimes meat parasites can come in the form of different worms. Sometimes you can see that come out in your fecal matter. There are also worms called prions that actually eat away at brain matter, brain flesh, and over time can cause issues with memory, dementia, all kinds of issues. So these parasites are serious, and we want to make sure that we're getting them out through this diet. There's a couple things that I want to show you here that you can use to help accelerate your detox through this process, all right? One of those things is you're not going to be eating almost next to no bread almost on this diet. You're not going to be going to get your typical loaf of bread, and you'll find that you may start to get those bread cravings, and that typically means that you have got an issue with candida. So one of the things you're going to want to do every morning to help accelerate your detox is to have some warm lemon or lime water. As you can see, I've got some key limes here, and I've got some lemons. And our key limes, really, really wonderful. You can make those into like an infusion of water. Sometimes I like to just take a container like this, fill it up with water, and I'll throw in some ginger, I'll throw in some lime, some basil, some lemon. Some people like to throw in cucumbers or berries. That's fine. They call it a detox water, which is cool. So if you got a glass container throughout this time to help accelerate and hydrate, accelerate that detox, make yourself a detox water. Okay, really, really fun. Glass container. All right, now also watermelon or melons in general, honeydew melon, cantaloupe melons are really, really good. I've got a great local farmer here in Atlanta, Little Fox Farms, that creates these beautiful seeded organic melons. Melons are wonderful for cleansing and detoxing. You can blend this with some ice, some basil, a little manuka honey, and make a nice slushy. Throw some ginger, whatever you like, or lime in there. Wonderful for detoxing. Oh, it's so good. All right, so that's something that you can do to help accelerate your detox. If you start to get the cramps, if you start to get any of the symptoms of detoxing, definitely want to get you some watermelon. That'll help you flush. All right. And then, of course, ginger. You can make ginger tea. I like to blend this in my food processor that I showed you guys in Module 1. And I just blend it all with the skin on. Throw it in the blender, blend it up, hit it with some hot water, and then strain with my trusty strainer. Okay, and you can have a nice hot lemon ginger tea. That will also help with the cramping. It'll help to accelerate your cleanse as well. I also have a product here. You guys can find all of the Electric Foods products at GoChefAhki.com. This one is called the Sweeper. Okay, with the Sweeper, you're just going to take a few drops under your tongue. This is an antiviral, antibacterial, antifungal, and anti-inflammatory detoxifying formula. All right, it's really, really, really wonderful, and it helps you with your energy levels as well. Amps up your energy levels. This is a digestive formula, and you can take that every day. You can find that right on my site. But I've also got some things for the external detox. The skin is the biggest organ, so throughout this process, you can really tell what's going on inside of your body by looking at your skin. If you're experiencing eczema, if you're experiencing boils, if you're experiencing any type of acne or anywhere of the body, oftentimes your body is just saying there is something foreign here and I'm trying to get it out. So you can help to accelerate that process with the things that we just named. Also, if you're having that experience topically, something you can do is to help pull it out with things like clay. This is one of my favorites. This is from Mother Earth Blessing. It's a red clay that I love. I've used it for years. It's actually very exfoliating, but you can use this anywhere on the body. Ladies, yes, even on your private parts if you need to handle your business. All right, and this just helps to keep everything really smooth and nice. Wonderful for the skin. It helps to purge impurities. Okay, really, really awesome. And then, of course, I've got some herbs and salt here. This is a beautiful blend of herbs and salt that I love. And this particular blend, you can use it in your bath, any sea salt, Epsom salt, bath salts, anything, any type of salt bath is really, really helpful. You can throw some essential oils in there and just soak for at least 20 minutes. And the salt bathing will start to help pull out those excess toxins from the skin if you're suffering with an external issue with the skin through this detox. Remember, while you're eating clean, oftentimes your body will start to spit out these toxins as you're cleansing, and you kind of want to go through that phase before you get to the other side. And I know a lot of people say, oh, well, I'm going clean so that I can have beautiful skin. That's the point. I understand, but just be patient, okay? You kind of got to go through sometimes a breakout before you can get to the glow up, okay? But it's coming. The glow up is coming, trust me, so don't worry. I broke out for maybe a few weeks before my skin just started to clear up and really shine. So don't worry, your body just needs to cleanse, all right? Also remember during this time that your taste buds can change. That's very, very important. As you are changing your diet and cleansing your body, your taste buds start to shift. You've got to remember, if you've been eating all the MSG foods and all the high sugar, high salty foods, a lot of these foods have artificial sweeteners, artificial flavorings. So your brain can't even process that level of flavor. So oftentimes you'll start to eat other foods and they'll seem bland to you at first. But as you start to cleanse, your taste buds will change. So be patient again with yourself during this process. If you're not crazy about the flavor of watermelon or fruits and berries and things like that, don't be discouraged. This too will change. The more you cleanse, the more you will want these very clean foods. Okay? So be mindful of that. Also, be mindful of some of the different symptoms that you can have as a detox reaction One of the ones that I hear about a lot is that you get the sniffles, that mucus starts to come out. Mucus can come from all your different orifices. Mucus can start to come from your vagina, from fecal matter. I know all this sounds really, really gross, but I have to just forewarn you, don't get, nervous. It's just a part of you healing your body and cleansing. You have to know and trust that. Know and trust nature, that you're not doing anything wrong, and you won't be helping yourself by going back to eating meat and junk. All right? That's not going to do it. Eating death is never going to be a path to more life. All right? It's not going to happen. It's just a quick fix for you to feel better because your body's been trained, conditioned, and programmed to a certain food. But trust me, just go through this process. Usually the detox lasts for no more than typically maybe a month or so. Now you'll still be detoxing, but the symptoms just won't be as harsh. So if you start to get a flu symptom or a cold, or feel like you're catching a cold, don't worry. Use these tools I've given you today to just flush. Lots of fruit, staying away from all carbohydrates during that time is going to help this process. In the hot bath, sweating is also wonderful. Taking a really strong, brisk walk and in the sun is very important so that you can sweat out those impurities too. Try to lay in the sun for at least 15 to 30 minutes every single day, if not more. Remember, you're getting vitamin D, I think 10,000 IUs just by sitting in the sun for 5 to 20 minutes. So please get some sun, and that sun will also help to pull out toxins and help to regenerate and nourish your body. And we talked about sweating, and then also just be mindful about the detox fads that are out there. You don't have to run off and try to jump into fasting the wrong way, and that's what we don't want you to do. All right, we want you to make sure that you're fasting correctly through nourishing your body and your body just naturally letting go of these bad foods. So if you want to do an enema or get a colonic during this time, I think that's wonderful. If doing your walking, you're sweating, you're going to a sauna, a nice brisk workout, all that stuff is good. Using these items is wonderful. Running off to do some extreme level of fasting right when you're just coming out of a sad diet, I don't personally suggest that. Anything extreme like water fasting right when you're coming out of a sad diet, I do not suggest that. A lemonade fast with maple syrup and lemon, like the Master Cleanse, right out of a sad diet, I don't necessarily suggest that either. So doing it this way, you guys, is really the best way to do it, and that's a food cleanse, okay? So I hope that this was helpful for Module 2. I want you guys to stay encouraged. You've got your tools ready, okay? You've got your tools, you've got your kitchen set up and ready to go. You're ready to go shopping, and I'm so excited for you guys for joining me. I can't wait till Module 3. So please make your list, guys. Go back through this and take your notes. Do your homework. Get your stuff together so that we can all be prepared next week for Module 3. I'll see you guys next week.